I just want to get this right here. So what you're telling me here is that women are only attractive for a certain period of time. Is that what you're telling me? Right? And then they're all used up and then they're not good anymore. You know? Now I know I heard about these rumors. I knew about the wall. I knew about hitting the wall. And I definitely knew about over 25 you were like used up and used goods, but I didn't know, you know, how are we supposed to know? Because they still want me. Because they still want to use me.
That's the key right there. They want to use you. Wanting you for intimate relationships long term is something completely different. They can't separate these two things out. I don't understand why. There's a difference between sexual interest and romantic interest. Why can't they separate these two out? Somebody please explain. I know the reason. It's because that's how they look at it. When they are sexually interested in a man, it's because they're intimately interested in, romantically interested. That's why a woman's imagination is the most powerful thing. Let her brain do all of it for you. That's why you play the Mr. Mysterious Man. When you meet them, you don't divulge too much. You let them do all the imagining. For that very reason, she already wants to sleep with you. She's already concocting the perfect version of you in her head. She already sees a life with you, children with you, all of this stuff with you. They do this automatically because for them, in order to see a man sexually, they have to see him as a good potential for long term anyways. It doesn't mean she's going to get that. It could be the bad boy with a full sleeve on his arm and a few notches on his record with the police, but in her eyes, this guy's checking all the boxes. He's handsome, his smile's incredible, he's muscular, he has charisma, he has so much game, he makes me giggle and laugh all the time. Oh, he would be the perfect husband for me. We would have the most amazing kids. Money, we'll figure that out. He's very ambitious. I'm sure he can do it. That's why women support a lot of bumps like that, because they're hitting all the check marks with attraction. So then she's giving him some leeway in the other parts, like the wallet, which she wouldn't for a guy that's uglier. See, the uglier you are, the more your life has to be straightened out already, because you have to bring that to the table on top. You're negotiating attraction with them. Women do negotiate attraction to a certain extent. Well, he's a little shorter than I'm used to dating. He's bald. His face isn't that attractive. He's kind of skinny. He's a little overweight, but his wallet is fat as hell. And they'll do that negotiating with themselves, and it's okay for them because they're the ones that get to pick in society. They have options. So that's how the game works for them. But they can't separate out this notion that a sexual interest from a man is simply that, sexual interest. We divide up women into two categories, like long-term, that's the girl you bring home and marry, and then this is the girl you want to have fun with and only play for the night. Could never see her as the mother of your kids. She's way too loose, way too nasty on the streets. She's got a whole rap sheet. Half the boys probably hit. Your Eskimo bros with some famous people too on top of that. And no way in hell are you going to get Logan Paul'd. I'm good on that. And that's what men are thinking. When a guy's matching you, ladies, on Tinder, on Bumble, on dating apps, or DMing you on Instagram, he's not interested in a life with you. He's not interested in marriage. He's interested in what's in between your legs. Grandma used to teach you this. Your mama used to teach you this. And when your daddies were present in your life, they used to teach you this too. You lost this part of the game. So now we have multiple generations of women, just like this one, bought into the empowerment shit, and is now staring down the wall and going, I don't think the wall is real. Look at all these bucks in my DMs trying to get at me. They're trying to have sex with me still. Clearly, I'm not used up. Clearly, I'm not a post-wall. Yeah, but there's no ring on your finger. And none of the guys DMing you want to put a ring on your finger. That literally shows a man thinks less of you. Less. If he's not willing to put a ring on your finger, he thinks less of you. And that's the brutal truth. I'm speaking from the male perspective, and all the conversations I've had with men, we make this distinction with women. Ladies, if you're dating a guy 5 years, 10 years, multiple years, and he keeps putting off marriage or saying he's not interested in marriage, you're just not good enough to be married to. And that's the brutal truth. A lot of them don't want to hear it. And that guy's just stringing them along. It's a weird version of like friend zoning. It's called like marriage zoning. I guess you could call it a marriage zone, because the guy will put this woman in the gray in between because she's good enough for his day-to-day life, but not good enough to have kids with and fully commit the rest of his life to. She's convenient in his life, the same way a nice guy who doesn't ask for sex is convenient to a woman because he provides all the boyfriend duties. He goes to pick her up and does all the things she needs. He does the protection and provisioning, even pays for the dates, the little friend dates that they have. He takes care of her just like a man would, her man that she'd be sleeping with. But he does it for free. So a woman is doing that shit multiple years for free. Multiple years for free, and the guy's just stringing her along like, cool, alright, you're gonna give me marriage material. It's not good enough for me, so I'm not gonna marry you, but you're convenient, so I'll keep you around. I know plenty of dudes in these kinds of situations. And women find themselves here all the time frustrated, and that's why they make videos like 5 years, 6 years, we were dating for 10 years, and you didn't propose to me. You weren't good enough to propose to, and then they'll go on and stalk the guy and find out like a year later, 2 years later, he found one, married her, had kids already. She got the man you wanted in less time because she was the right woman and you weren't.
Was I supposed to get like an expiration stamp was supposed to pop up on my ass? Or there's all these different scenarios, like what if I go into like an old age home and I'm like the hot 75-year-old and everybody's like 90 and they still want me? See all these conditions and stuff? I mean, I gotta know. I'm really confused of like what I'm supposed to know, because I have to start buying cats and you know, scared. So please tell me when, you know, I'll just wait for that stamp on my ass, I guess. Right? Stay safe. Oh God. That's fucking complex.
Hit the wall is a phrase used by men to describe the age at which a woman is no longer attractive.
Okay, so it turns out hit the wall is an actual phrase that is being used by men. That means that women are no longer attractive when they hit this wall. I really implore you to go and watch the rest of that video, because she goes on to compare male and female celebrities in magazines and shows that even when they're close to the same age, a woman's photo will show no skin texture, whereas a man's photo will show his skin texture. We're seeing this everywhere, including in social media. We're using filters everywhere. And so we're at the point now where people see a woman in real life and don't understand that that's normal. So there is no wall, but there is a problem when we have airbrushed and filtered ourselves to this level.
How can you be this lost, man? You're comparing cosmopolitan magazines and all this crap where they airbrush the women and make them look perfect because they're catering to women and selling you products about keeping you youthful and beautiful for the rest of your life, even when you're a post-wall 60-year-old hag. It's not gonna happen the way you want it to. This game is biological. Men want younger women. It's about fertility. That's all it is. Really, it comes down to this biological fact. Younger women from 19 to 25 are in their peak fertility years. They're the most gorgeous they are then. They're the most youthful. They're the least damaged from hookup culture, from all the dating apps and bad experiences with men who had no business getting with them in the first place, but they were too young to know the difference. So by the time she's 30, she's racked up the quote, 1,000 cock stare. And nobody wants that woman, especially if you're a man that took care of himself, took care of his body, got his wallet right, his business up and running, he's making good money, he's finally financially free, and he's able to do what he wants and support a family. The last thing you're going to look at as a 30-something-year-old man is a 30-something-year-old woman. Why? What if you want 5-6 kids and she's already 32? You're a few years away from barren womb syndrome. You're a few years away from needing in vitro, from needing surrogates. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars tacked on top simply because your age. Eggs are limited. This is the deal. This is why, and look everywhere, older men, younger women. It's always been that way. Younger women get what they want out of the older man, which is maturity, security, and a family, because that guy's finally ready to settle down and able to settle down. And then the older man gets what he wants: youth, beauty, fertility. The exact thing they're selling to you on the magazines.
Of perfection.
Here we go again.
I feel like nobody is talking about how hard it is to be a Nicholas Sparks girl in today's day and age. Like, I'm 25 and I'm single and I'm a hopeless romantic. And today's day and age is not having it for that. Like, Nicholas Sparks raised me. He raised me to think of like the gentleman, Prince
Can someone, who's Nicholas Sparks? Someone in the comments let me know.
Charming, grand gesture kind of guy. Like, even my dad is still like that. Him and my mom have been married for almost 30 years and he still writes her a love note every morning before he leaves for work. And I am out here getting a, yo, you up text, like the letter U, not even the full
Then you should be asking your mother. It's rare that you have two parents that are still intimate after all these years, still love each other to that degree. No divorce. She's lucky on that end. Stop listening to your girlfriends. Stop listening to social media. Stop watching all the shit on the internet, TV, YouTube, all that, and ask your mama what she did to keep your father around all these years. You'll have your answer then. But you don't want to listen because that's too old school, Mom. I'm a modern woman. I don't submit to my man. I'm not cooking and cleaning. I'm not taking care of no grown man. I'm the table. He has to bring me everything else. You know what I mean? And that's the conversation that ends up happening. Mama seems too old school to be taking care of her hubby that way. Just a new age empowered woman. She's strong, boss, independent. So strong she gets you up texts with the you instead of spelled out you. That's your value in the eyes of these men. Because you probably have a rap sheet, no offense. You probably have some sort of reputation, no offense. Or you have a history around the area you live, no offense. Or you're probably looking in the wrong place. Dating apps. You want quality mates on dating apps and Instagram DMs? Your brain is broken, no offense.
Full spelling of you. Or, like, what's your snap? Like, I know people ask for Snapchat. I'm not an idiot, but, like, I'm 25. I don't want people to be asking for my Snapchat anymore. I feel like there's bigger problems to discuss if you're still asking for girls' Snapchats at 25. Like, where do the Nicholas Sparks grin gesture gentlemen hang out? Because it can't be here.
Wait. Time out.
I feel like nobody is talking about how hard it is to be a Nicholas Sparks girl in today's day and age. Like, I'm 25 and
A Nicholas Sparks girl at 25? Wake up, sweetheart. This isn't Hollywood. Reality is way different, and if you're basing your love life on some teary-eyed paperback, you're in for a shocker.
like, even my dad is still like that. Him and my mom have been married for almost 30 years and he still writes her a love note every morning before he leaves for work.
Here we go again. Comparing today's dating scene with what our parents had is like comparing vinyl records to Spotify. Two different eras, two different vibes. And honestly, if you're basing your relationship standards on what your dad did for your mom, maybe reevaluate your measuring stick.
And I am out here getting a, yo, you up text, like the letter U, not even the full spelling of you. Or, like, what's your snap?
Boo-hoo! Newsflash. You're accepting that you set the standards. You get what if you're answering those you up texts, that's what you're gonna get. So why act surprised? And here's the grand finale. Where are the gentlemen? They're out there, but maybe they're steering clear because they can see through the facade. If you're searching for someone genuine, start by being genuine yourself. This narrative that chivalry is dead because men are different now, that's bogus. Sure, times have changed, but genuine men are still out there. Maybe it's about what you're bringing to the table. You want a love note every morning? Are you worth waking up early for? Are you writing love notes back? Reality check. If you're still chasing some romanticized fiction at 25, waiting for Mr. Perfect while entertaining you-up texts and Snapchat requests, maybe it's time to look in the mirror and am I the problem? This whole rant is draped in victimhood. The universe hasn't wronged her. She's just fishing in the wrong ponds and then blaming the fish. If her interactions are a parade of players, then perhaps she should reevaluate her strategy. Maybe the crux isn't the absence of genuine men, perhaps it's the obscured, fantasy-driven persona she's projecting.
Okay, so as a woman, one thing that I'm very sick and tired of seeing is all of these women giving bad advice, especially to the younger women. Because you know what it is? Misery loves company. I see all of these women in their 30s, 40s, 50s that are giving terrible advice to women in their 20s and even younger than that. So coming from a woman, I'm going to be honest with you and I'm going to tell you what hitting the wall means. So men value different things than women do. They value beauty, youth, and they value someone that respects themselves. When you start aging, your biological clock is ticking, and that is just a real fact. Going into your 30s, your options are going to be less than when you were in your 20s. And those guys around your age are now looking at the younger women, and you're going to be competing now with the 20-year-olds for the guys that you want. And then now when you're ready to start settling down and possibly start thinking about having kids, those same guys might feel like you're rushing them and they might not want the same things at this point. So then the dating market starts getting stressful, and then now these women are rushing for time because now their biological clock is really ticking and they want to go through the stages. And then a lot of them end up single, a lot of them end up childless because they chose to have fun in their 20s instead of looking for a relationship. And they thought that when the time came that they did want to settle down, that they would still have all the options that they had when they were 20. But then reality hits, and a lot of them end up childless and single, and not by choice. So don't listen to all of these women that are saying that they're so happy and they're so content with not having children and they didn't want to get married, because the reality is that a lot of them did, most of them did. And by that point, they just didn't have a choice anymore. And so they had to accept that now they are childless and single. So of course they're going to make the best out of it. But what I don't like is that they're preaching to the younger generation that this is the way to go. Because if they could have chosen otherwise, they would have.
That's a brutal truth. I'm glad she's saying it out loud. Hopefully some women catch on, the more the merrier. But she's got this small drop in a giant ocean of propaganda. That's her voice. And it's going to go mostly on deaf ears. And the other side of her aisle is so propagandized, this is what's sad, that she's going to get attacked and mocked and told she's a pick-me and she's internalized misogyny and that she's a traitor and she's setting women back 100 years and blah, blah, blah. They're arguing against their own interests. And because they lost the choice, they have no choice. When they get that old, they didn't choose to be alone with cats. That's how they ended up, because they couldn't find any men, because no man was interested. They then doubled down on this messaging and bring crabs in a bucket mentality to all the younger women. Tell them to make the same mistake. I had a blast partying in my 20s. Oh my God, all the wild stories. I'm in my 30s now. I'm alone. I don't gotta walk. I don't have to look after no man, no kids, nothing. I get to wake up and do whatever I want. But she doesn't tell you that she's crying herself to sleep at night. That pillow stained with mascara. That bed, disgusting. The mattress broken down by all the strange men she invites to soothe her loneliness. Loneliness for women is not the same as loneliness for men. Loneliness for men is literal. They have nobody. No woman is interested in them. Loneliness for women is emotional loneliness. They're not physically lonely. Women have options physically. Men will sleep with them well into their 60s, 70s. It doesn't matter. Dude's willing to pork it down. But to get a man emotionally invested, to actually care about your well-being, to want to protect and provide for you, to love you, that dries up very quickly. This is the part of the wall that they can't accept and they don't see because it's not overt. A man won't tell a woman, I don't look at you as anything more than a piece of meat. I'm just here to hit it. A man's not going to say that out loud because that ruins his chances to hit it. So he's going to hit it and string you along, or just use you for fun and say, hey, let's just do this friendship thing, friends with benefits. Let's just have fun. Let's not put labels on this. Let's not do all this other shit that women constantly hear and they complain about that men are doing today. Yeah, they're doing that, exactly that, because that's what you are in their eyes. So when women say, he's just not emotionally available, he is. He's not emotionally available for you. That's the difference. He doesn't want you long term. He just likes hitting it for the low cost investment of hookah and chill, a dating app match, or a drink at a bar. That's what you are. You're the fun girl. They don't get that. So all these older women are now bitter, collecting cats and dogs, and have to tell all the younger ladies their competition to just have fun, to just sleep around, to just be like me. You'll be happy. Don't worry about all the emotional damage. Don't worry about all the loneliness, the crippling loneliness that women feel in their own way when men are emotionally unavailable, where they feel used because they do get used. Nothing worse for a woman than every single guy that you do that perfect fairy tale imagination with of having the perfect life together, being married and kids, and this is the one, only to get pumped and dumped and ghosted again and again and again and again. And you want to tell me that doesn't affect your mental health or your mental well-being? And this is why the 1,000-cock stare gets born. Imagine all the bodies. Imagine getting your hopes up over and over again, only to be let down and ghosted by every single man, and you never ask the question, am I the problem? What am I doing wrong to attract these kinds of men? Nope, it's all men ain't ish. All men are trash. All men are this. It's men. Men are doing this to me. I'm not doing it myself. I didn't set the standard. I didn't allow these men into my life. I didn't open myself up to these men. I didn't envision that this doctor, this millionaire, this businessman, this athlete, all these guys that could change my life and take me on boats and private jets and have experiences with. I didn't imagine that they didn't give a single F about me. I thought they wanted to sleep with me. It means they were interested. No, sweetheart, they weren't. You're just another notch on the bedpost, and you're one of many. And this is why you'll never win the dating game in the world today. It's getting worse for women at a rate far faster than it does for men. Men have to deal with loneliness, which they can. Although it sucks, a man can be happy and content being alone with his dog, as long as he has a good friend group. That's really all that matters. And he'll sleep around here and there, he gets that itch off, and he's good. Some guys pay for it, and that's the route they take regardless. The itch is scratched. And a man is cool living like that. But a woman is not cool being used and dealing with emotionally unavailable men and getting treated like a piece of meat, while all her girlfriends around her are securing rings and husbands and babies, and all you have is boxed wine and cats. And you're trying to sell the world that is happiness? Give me a break.
Look, but before I go, I just want to get this off my chest. Y'all are trash. Like, y'all are so trash. I want you to know that I'm talking to you, because I don't know who else to blame but y'all sorry asses. You're trash.